we now move on to the first company we're going to talk about today, and we're actually going to talk about the management of the company, that is MCX. We're joined by Rishi Nathany, who's the Chief Business Officer at MCX. Welcome to the show, Mr. Nathany.
Thank you, Nika.
Let's first talk about the latest updates, which are the revisions in the transaction charges. Could you give us more detail on what the revisions are and how that would impact, your financials in the near term?
Thank you. So what we have done is we moved in from a dual structure to a single transaction charge. So earlier we were charging 2.6 lakhs and 2.6 rupees per lakh and 1.75 rupees per lakh. Now we in futures, which we moved to 2.1 rupees per lakh. Similarly, we made changes in options as well, where we had two slabs of 4,000 and 5,000 and per crore, and now we moved to 4180 per crore. So this is the change we've made. Now, I don't believe that it should have any major impact either ways, because these transaction charges have been placed at the average realization which the company was making, and therefore I believe that the effect on the company's revenues would not be much. Having said that, this is a very good move which the regulator has asked to be done, because the end clients will now land up paying much lesser than they were. And also now it will create a level playing field across the entire broking segment.
Mr. Nathany, no material change, but if you had to quantify it in terms of a range to the top line, the impact that your top line would have, do you have an estimate on that number?
Well, as I said, we have placed this transaction charge at the average realization. So according to me, there should be no change.
And, let's also talk about, the company did successfully transition its software back in October. Now, that's been running very smoothly. But we do expect fixed costs to, come in from October. How would that impact your margins going forward as well, and, your financials in general?
See, overall, everything has already been announced. So I would not like to dwell on that much. What I can say is that, the business has been growing tremendously. And in the current year, we've hit record highs in terms of turnover on 14th September, where we did 4.72 lakh crores of single-sided ADT. And in the current year, we are up by 80% over last year in terms of our overall volumes. So in that sense, I'd rather focus on revenues and make sure that the business grows, and that is my mandate as the Chief Business Officer.
You spoke about volumes. Let's talk about your August numbers. Now, good set of numbers across the boards. What are your expectations for FY25 as a whole, and are there any specific future option segments that you see driving growth?
Okay, so between last year and the current year, we have seen growth. So our options have risen from 1.09 lakh crores per day to 1.96 lakh crores per day, which is a growth of 80%. And futures have grown from 19,500 crores to 26,000 crores, which is a growth of 32%. So on a blended average, we are growing at 80% from last year. And we hope to not only continue this growth, but hopefully with all the market participants supporting us as they have been, everyone would want that the business keeps growing further. So in that sense, the business has been growing. Now, that is for futures and options. Across segments also, we've hit new highs across the bullion segment, across the energy segment, and even in the base metal segment. So across segments also, we are seeing very good growth. In terms of market participants also, we are seeing widespread participation from corporates, hedgers, individuals, retail participants, the proprietary traders, everyone. So to sum up, I would say it's a very, very broad-based growth which we are seeing across the exchange.
Got it, Mr. Nathany. And in terms of market participants, like you mentioned, this year the company did start offering to foreign portfolio investors as well. Now, currently that's limited to 2 commodities, the product offerings. What are the plans to expand the offerings for the FPI segment?
So just to give you some numbers, we have more than 100 FPIs registered in MCX, and the volumes of FPIs have surpassed 5,700 crores per day against 1,900 crores in the last year. And their OI is very healthy, around 15 to 20% in the 2 commodities that they are allowed to trade. Now, the point being that we would definitely like to see the FPI basket increase, but at present, the regulatory norms only allow participation in crude and natural gas, basically cash settled contracts where the underlying is cash settled. And we will definitely continue to uh, approach the regulator for allowing FPI. So it was to start with these two commodities, cash settled commodities, and hopefully, as the market matures and the regulator gets more confident with the FPI participation, I'm sure they will put their mind to considering other commodities as well.
Right, Mr. Nathany. And just last question now. Focus has also been on new products. It's expected to drive volume growth. Could you maybe give us an update on the introduction of the weekly contracts as well as the 10-gram monthly gold contracts, which are currently under testing phase? When can we expect these to come in?
So we keep working on various contracts, whether it be absolutely new contracts or variants of existing successful products. And while I cannot give you a timeline as to when we'll be launching, but as soon as we get regulatory approval and we feel that the timing is correct, we'll definitely issue a circular and inform market participants. But all I can tell you is in the next few months and years to come, you should see a lot of new products as well as variants of existing products coming into the market.
And in terms of volume growth via the new products, what are your expectations?
It's very difficult to quantify because end of the day we are a trading platform. It is the market which decides whether they want to trade in certain commodities or not. So basis market feedback, we definitely do our research and bring those commodities to market. And then it remains to be seen whether the commodities which we bring to the market, the new products, what kind of market share they gain among our total turnover.
Thank you, Mr. Nathany, so much for joining us and sharing your perspective, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mika.
We now move on to Ola.